Hey, good morning, everyone. Hey, we've got huge development in the election fraud situation. I've been doing all sorts of research this morning, but I just listened to an interview on Fox with Lou Dobbs, Sidney Powell, who was General Flynn's lawyer, former U.S. prosecutor and constitutionalist, and Tom Fitton, who is the head of Judicial Watch, an attorney as well, and a constitutionalist as well, and a true patriot. Both of them true patriots. And they are discussing, and I'm going to put a link to this interview with Lou Dobbs. They are discussing Operation Hammer, which, surprise, surprise, was born out of the CIA, out of Langley, Virginia. And it actually involves, they speculate, changing somewhere in the neighborhood of 3% of the votes prior to the election. I'm not exactly sure how it works. It's all digital. Lo and behold, it's the CIA who, if you know anything about the CIA, you know they know how to meddle in elections like nobody on this planet. They do it all across the globe, and they've probably done it prior here in the U.S., but it's looking like there's some pretty strong evidence that says that this has gone on. And of course, there's going to be a forensic trail left behind that's going to be discovered. I think they're implying that the DOJ and FBI are looking at this. Unfortunately, I don't have a lot of confidence in the FBI. And they even implied that, President Trump should use his most trusted military intelligence, which I agree with, such as the NSA. And other military intelligence apparatuses that are trustworthy, that are not controlled by the deep state, like the CIA is. Here's another example of, I've said it for a long time, we need to dissolve the CIA. They are a rogue, anti-American agency. They serve what some people call the New World Order, and they need to be dissolved immediately. And I hope that when all the evidence about this Operation Hammer come out, which involves, I think, Dominion voting machines, which I was doing some research on Dominion voting machines, which were used in a lot of these swing state jurisdictions. And, these guys, for instance, they donated somewhere between $25,000 and $50,000 to the Clinton Foundation in 2014. Isn't that odd? A voting machine company donating money. And then they also purchased Dobbs voting machines, who I had studied that some time ago. They purchased that division, all their hardware, software, firmware, and they were known for having a backdoor where election results could be flipped. But they're, these glitches they're talking about, the glitch in Michigan where it basically was a 6,000 vote swing in a jurisdiction that Trump was favored in. They ended up catching it manually. The election officials there caught it manually because they were comparing it to the last election results and things weren't jiving. So they were able to catch what they're calling a glitch. It's not a glitch. It's corrupted software. It's intentional. And, then there's other jurisdictions that are saying that this company did an update download the night before the election. Could this have possibly been in coordination with the CIA and Operation Hammer? Yes, quite possibly. So there's a lot of hope here, folks. Look, it never made sense to me. I followed this election closely. I followed Trump's rallies. I looked at his numbers. I looked at the demographics of his rallies. A lot of independents, a lot of Democrats showing up. I looked at his minority support, 3 and 4 times that which he received in the black community from 2016, and the Hispanic community, 40%. Even the Democrats are talking about how many blacks and Hispanics voted for President Trump this time around and supported him. You want to know why? Because he's proven himself as a president who stands behind the Constitution and freedom and prosperity for all Americans, and he's going to get rid of this corrupted deep state scumbags like we see at the CIA, who are now manipulating our elections, and they need to be done away with. And we, of course, need to prosecute anybody involved in this for treason. This is high treason, make no mistake about it. Joe Biden is not going to be taking the office of the White House on January 20th. That's going to be President Donald Trump that will be sworn in again, and the truth is all going to come out. So just trust the plan, folks. Okay, this is a plan, and looks like one of the objectives is, number one, to expose the deep state and the Democrats for the frauds they are, but also it looks like we're going to get a bonus where it's going to provide all the evidence we need to have any reasonable American call for the Central Intelligence Agency to finally be dissolved as the rogue criminal entity that they are, who just robs us blind and engages in, I mean, they're the global drug traffickers, kingpins of the world. They're heavily involved in human trafficking and use our military bases for that purpose. And they are just involved in so many nefarious things. You know, they give birth to ISIS. They give birth to Al-Qaeda because they got to have a boogeyman that increases their black budgets, and they can go and do with those monies things that we don't even know they're doing that are just benefiting a handful of these criminals, and they never benefit the American people. They never benefit the national security of the United States. So hang in there, guys. Look, I got faith. You know, it's always darkest just before dawn, right? And I'm going to put a link to this interview with Tom Fitton by Lou Dobbs with Tom Fitton and Sidney Powell. It's a must watch. Spread it. Stay involved. You know, go to the Stop the Steal demonstrations. Anytime you hear about one or see one, spread the word about them, because they're trying to shut it down. Every time I'm on Instagram or YouTube, and anybody's making a video or posting anything that questions election results, Instagram and YouTube are putting these warnings of misinformation up there, and then they link how the AP called the election. Well, the AP does not, the Associated Press does not call any elections, okay? And it is patently fraudulent for YouTube and Instagram to imply that the AP does call any elections. The only entities that call elections are the state legislatures who certify the votes in their state, okay? And we also need these state legislatures that are Republican controlled in Pennsylvania, I think in Michigan as well, to step up to the plate and demand 100% transparency. I don't care how long it takes. I don't care how much computer forensics has to be involved. We need to perform this due diligence. I know Joe Biden could not have won this election if you look at all the variables. There's no way he won this election legitimately. And but if he did, and after looking at examining the computer forensics, examining the ballots, examining everything thoroughly, if he then won, I'll accept him as the president of the United States. But I can tell you this, neither I nor millions of other Americans will peacefully accept him being inaugurated on January 20th unless these sort of investigations, recounts, computer forensic work are completed and thorough, and all the truth is brought to light, even if it's fraud of just one vote. The American people deserve to know that. Our constitutional republic cannot survive if we do not have confidence in our elections. This is in the best interest of Democrats, Republicans, independents, and men on the moon and women on the moon, okay? This is in everyone's interest. And if you're a Democrat sitting back going, oh, just shut up and accept the election results, and you're cheering and you're pretending as if there's no problems here, you're a fool. You're a fool, and you're kicking a very ugly can down the road, and it's a can of worms that you have no idea how devastating and harmful to all of us it will be if that can of worms needs to be opened. But that can of worms will be opened if the American people are not confident that we've had a free and fair election with accurate results. That's all we need, okay? I'm not declaring for sure that Donald Trump was the winner. I'd be absolutely shocked through all my analysis throughout the past many weeks if he was not the winner here. And we're not declaring Donald Trump the winner. And what we want, though, is a fair and free and transparent election. And, you know, if you're a Democrat, you ought to be asking yourselves, why did the Democrats in Philadelphia and Pennsylvania, when the Republicans got a court ruling that the Democrats were forbidding Republicans from observing the ballot counting, why did the Democrats then go after the Republicans secured a judge's ruling stating that they could get within 6 feet to observe the ballot counting? Why did the Dems then go and try to appeal this? What do they have against transparency? The only answer I can ever come up with to that question is that they're perpetrating fraud and they know it and they don't want it to be revealed. So anyways, guys, I'm going to put a link to this interview. Please spread it far and wide. We're on our own now. We can't rely on the Facebooks and the IGs. Send this stuff on your text messages, okay? Send it on your text messages. You share it on Facebook. You don't know how much they're blocking you and shadow banning you on IG, on Twitter, on any of them. You know, and then they're putting these stupid warnings up there. Also, sign up for Parler. Sign up for Gab.com. And look, everybody wants to bitch about Facebook and Twitter, neither of which I'm on. Here's how you bury Facebook and Twitter. It's real simple, folks. It's so simple. We could accomplish this in a week. Anytime you see an advertiser on Twitter or Facebook, you write to them and you say, look, I'm writing to you because I want you to know I'm boycotting your companies, your products, your services, because you are advertising on a blatantly biased, censoring, fascist platform. And you as an advertiser are supporting this occurring in our country. And until you withdraw your advertising from Twitter, Facebook, whatever the corrupted social media, YouTube as well, whatever the corrupted social media platform may be, I'm not going to do business with your company. If, though, you urge Twitter to stop the censoring, they indeed do, and you end up advertising with them again, I will do business with you again. I will also do business with you again if you stop advertising with these censoring platforms who are obviously biased and fascist. So we have the power. I'm telling you, that would cut it off at the knees within a week. Then one of two things is going to happen. Facebook or Twitter are going to go away because they're not going to be generating the advertising money that they need to support their infrastructure, especially something like Facebook. Or they're going to change their ways and they're going to stop censoring us. They're going to stop meddling in elections, which is what they've done. It's so disgusting how the leftists and big tech talk about the Russians meddling in our elections when it's them meddling in the elections. And now it looks like it's the CIA meddling in our elections. Anyways, guys, check out those links and share it and spread it. Share it and spread it. It's hashtag Stop the Steal. Use the hashtag so people can easily find the information. Because again, YouTube, Twitter, all of them, they're burying it. It's on us now to stand up for this constitutional republic, to save this constitutional republic. That is what's at stake right now. Hey, I love y'all. Have a good day, and I'll keep you posted. Bye.